abilities. Joining me now to weigh in, representing Arizona's 8th Congressional District, Congresswoman Debbie Lesko. Congresswoman Lesko, thank you for being with me. That news of Biden holding up the note card, what was written on it, you take your seat, you do this, you lick your thumb at this part of the speech. I mean, it's just so sad. That is how a father talks to his 4-year-old son, giving him step-by-step instructions like this. I can guarantee you, Donald Trump never needed to be told to go into a room and take his seat.
Well, you're definitely right about that. And the voters are really regretting that they elected President Biden. Ever since President Biden has taken office and the Democrats have controlled both the House and the U.S. Senate, we have had one crisis after another in the United States. And as you pointed out in your graphs and in your intro, is all prices are up. Inflation is up. In Phoenix, the price for a gallon of gas is about $5.60 a gallon. People cannot afford this. They go to the grocery store and if they can find the products that they want, they're more expensive. People that are living paycheck to paycheck cannot afford President Biden and the Democrats' policies.
Yeah, and we've seen time and again that even the mainstream media, in a lot of ways, are starting to distance themselves from this administration. CNN has had Karine Jean-Pierre on several times to interview her, and they're asking her tougher and tougher questions. MSNBC, ABC, these outlets are all starting to, they have nowhere else to go. In other words, they're starting to admit inflation is sky high. Some of them have even come out and said it's not because of Putin's price hike, like the administration's saying. We have a clip right here that I want to play for you real quick of MSNBC being afraid that voters worried about the economy will let the GOP wreck democracy. So let's take a look at that.
It's worrisome that, again, people vote on what affects them, not offends them. They're not realizing this affects our future.
Oh, I think that's very much the case. It's all about how they weigh these things in their lives. You have, for the past couple of weeks now, Stephanie, made the case about the economy and the role that that's playing in shaping people's attitudes. I break it down along a more political line. People are setting up values. So what do you value right now? Do you value the price of a loaf of bread and a gallon of gas more than you value the right to vote and the prospects of re-empowering a political party that literally tried to wrench the democracy away from us?
So right there, MSNBC is freaking out. They're saying that with what's happening with the economy right now, with the way Joe Biden's doing his job or lack of doing his job, that the GOP is going to wreck democracy or something. Your thoughts on this?
Well, the Democrats have nothing else to say. They see the polling numbers and they know that a tidal wave is going to come in November to elect Republicans in the midterm election. And so, they have nothing left. They blame everybody except themselves for what's happening. But it's one crisis after the other. And the American people are smart. They realize that ever since President Biden took office, things have gone down the tubes in America. Under President Trump, everything was going great. Everybody had a job, a good paying job. The business was booming. We were energy independent. Now gasoline prices are going up. There's thoughts that there's going to be electricity blackouts this summer and everything. I can't think of one thing that the Democrats have done that has helped America. I think people are going to vote Republican heavily in November. And then, we're still going to have to deal with President Biden because he's in the Oval Office. But we're going to start exposing some of the things that the Biden administration is doing with his agencies. He's basically overruling Congress and doing all kinds of regulations against all kinds of businesses, and it's hurting America.
Yeah, I mean, he's been an executive order president. He signed something to the tune of 17 EOs on his first day of office. So he obviously doesn't care about the rule of law. He obviously doesn't care about the American people, because if he did, he would be focusing on bringing gas prices down and not transitioning so rapidly and unsustainably to green energy, which is what he's been doing. He did the other day, he called on gas stations to just simply lower their prices. He said to them, leaned into the camera and whispered like he does, just lower your prices, just bring your prices down. And I was just like, oh, well, problem solved, Joe. Thank you very much for that. All that to say, he can't do it himself. He can't take the action to bring those prices down, because if he does, he's going to get flack from his own party. It's going to be harder to transition to green energy, and that's going to send his poll numbers among Democrats even lower than it is now. Now, Congresswoman, we're almost out of time, but I've got to get your reaction to this. This morning, Roe versus Wade, a nearly 50-year decision, was overruled by the Supreme Court in a 6-3 vote. I said sometime last year that I really didn't think Roe versus Wade would be overruled in my lifetime, and I've never been happier to be wrong about something.
This is a great day for America. It puts the abortion versus pro-life debate in the hands of the people through their elected representatives. And the Supreme Court justices said there is no constitutional right to abortion. This is a great day for America, a great day for mothers and their unborn babies.
Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more. And we've already seen the left's reaction to this. We played some footage on the show earlier of them outside the Supreme Court calling the ruling illegitimate, calling Jane's Revenge this radical pro-abortion group. They're calling for riots in the streets of D.C. We need to pray for D.C. and pray for these justices, because I feel very strongly that D.C. is probably going to go up in flames tonight and over the weekend, through the next several days, several weeks. AOC, we played a clip on the show earlier of her also calling the ruling illegitimate and urging people to take to the streets. I would say that AOC might be citing an insurrection. I feel like if the shoe was on the other foot, she would accuse her Republican counterparts of inciting an insurrection if they were saying the same thing. No?
Yeah, and this is happening in Arizona too. I got a text from the pro-life pregnancy centers in Arizona, and there's a plan there. There's a woman who is planning at 8 p.m. tonight to encourage people to burn down the pro-life pregnancy centers that help women and their unborn babies. And this is unconscionable. And the Biden administration and the Department of Justice under Biden better speak out, because this will be mass mayhem and crime, and this has to be stopped.
It's going to make the BLM riots of 2020 look tame by comparison, in my opinion. And these groups have already started vandalizing and firebombing pro-life pregnancy centers and offices. I think around 16 to 20 around the nation have already been ransacked by that same group, Jane's Revenge, that's calling for riots in the streets in D.C. So a lot of craziness to unpack. We'll have a lot of it to get to over by Monday for sure. But until then, we are out of time. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining me. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.